Back when it was pandemic times, it was insanely busy. All the streamers were trying to up their content for their platforms, so the world scaled up to accommodate all this content.
Right.
And everyone produced all these series. But what happened was nobody was watching them at all. And so they turned off the tap because no one's watching series. And so the work went from producing this much in a year to producing literally that much in a year.
I see.
So after the world scaled up to accommodate all this and the tap got turned off,
Right.
everyone was caught around the world with their pants around their ankles.
I see.
Basically going, I've got 200 people in an expensive building with a bunch of expensive equipment and there's no work.
Hello and welcome to episode 23 of the Exponential Show. Today, it is a pleasure of mine to introduce you to Marty Knox, founder at Chardo Animation. Marty, thank you for taking time to speak with me, especially on a Sunday morning.
No problem. Thanks for inviting me. I love doing these kind of things.
The pleasure's all mine, Marty. Let's get straight to it.
Sure.
This is a question that we present to all our guests, which is, what's your origin story? You got into animation when I was in school watching cartoons. So you've been in this field for a very long time. So could you maybe walk us through some of the key milestones that led you to where you are today and what you're doing with Chardo Animation in the current day and age?
Yeah, sure. No, I'm happy. I tell my origin story often and how I got into this because it's a bit of I got into it by accident, to be honest. I wanted to be a musician. Actually, I'm a drummer and I played in rock bands and I grew up in a very small town in British Columbia in Canada.
Nice.
And I moved to Toronto because I wanted to play music in bands, and Toronto's the big city where there's a music scene. And so when I was 18, I moved to Toronto, and as a job, I had been working in kitchens as a dishwasher and a line cook. And so I got a job in a kitchen, which is a horrible, difficult, thankless, underpaid job. And I went looking for bands, and I found this band, and they ended up becoming lifelong friends. And the singer's wife worked in animation and was working, this was in 1995, and she was working on a series that was like, she needed help. She was overworked and she needed someone to support. And I was like, hey, get me out of the kitchen, get me out of the kitchen.
Right.
And so I just started basically with an animation light table. Do you know what those are? They're like it's like a table with a translucent disc with a light behind it. It's got a pegboard for putting cells so you can draw and see.
I see what you mean. Okay.
So I had that as my desk. I was photocopying artwork, cutting them out, and pasting them onto model sheets by hand, scissors and tape. That's what I had, and a photocopy. And I just started learning how it works from the very bottom up. And I really found that animation works really well with the way my brain is set up, which is, this combination of numbers and pictures and chaos, putting chaos in order and meeting these deadlines and putting together these crazy puzzles that keep shifting all the time. So my brain really works well with that kind of situation. And I just started getting more and more responsibility and learning the job better. And I ended up having to go to different countries to work. I ended up going to Vietnam back in 1999, which was my first time in Asia, which completely changed me forever. I showed up and every preconceived notion I had about social interaction, public etiquette, food, eating, everything, the way the world functions, the way that I grew up expecting the world to be was completely shattered by going to Southeast Asia. And it just, I went back to Canada and I thought, this is really boring. I cannot work here. And so I ended up moving to Berlin and working on a feature film. And I ended up living in Malaysia and in Ireland and working all around the world. And I ended up in Thailand running a studio for a Danish company.
Interesting.
And we did a lot of Lego, and I ran that company for 10 years. I started out, we were like around 40 people when I joined, And then when I left, we were 250 people. So we grew up, and we opened, actually, there was an office in Mumbai that opened up as well, too. So
Nice.
We made lots of really great content. And I had been building and running studios for several years, and I really felt like I didn't want to have a boss anymore. And, I respect people. It's their company. They want to do it their way. But when you see a different way of doing things and you don't always get along with that owner, or you're not on the same wavelength,
Right.
it's very frustrating.
Right.
And so right after COVID, an opportunity came up for me to open my own shop here. And I took it. And I've never been happier. It's fantastic. I'm really... it's difficult and stressful and hard running your own business, but it's a different kind of stress where you don't have to deal with people that you don't see eye to eye with, or you don't agree on the same methods with.
Right.
So that's where I came from, and
Yeah, it's interesting to know, and the fact that you've lived in so many different countries, so I'm sure there's a cultural aspect to it that also reflects in the kind of animation that you might have done over the.
Yeah, I don't know. What I've really found is that it doesn't matter where you are in the world. People are just people.
That's
Artists. There's no geographical boundary for artistic talent. It's you can draw or you can create. Or you can't, and it doesn't matter where you're from or what your passport says, or what language you speak, or you know what I mean. It doesn't matter. The only difference is the subtle sort of cultural things that you have to navigate.
Right.
Where Western people are a little more direct, whereas Eastern people, it's a little more you have to edge in a little gently in some ways sometimes. But that doesn't really matter because it's all art, and it's people who work from the heart making beautiful stuff. So
interesting, and you're right. It's this animation, like a lot of other art forms. It kind of transcends like cultural boundaries in a lot of ways. So
absolutely, absolutely, yeah.
Fascinating to hear that. Now, from the time of using that light table as your desk to now with the likes of Sora and Veo 3 and God knows how many other video generation engines, it's safe to say that animation has come a long way in terms of the technology.
Absolutely.
So with that, and especially the last few years where AI is maybe not there yet, but it's on the trajectory to be in terms of at least replacing a lot of the manual work and learning from documentaries I watched, I now realize how much manual work animation used to be.
Yeah.
And then the tedious drawing of each single frame by hand and how that worked. So in that transition, how do you see things evolving in terms of how animation studios function? So what does an animation studio in 2025 look like, and what does an animation studio in 2035 look like?
Wow, well, this is a huge and complex answer because there's lots of moving parts and there's lots of factors that are coming into play about AI that aren't necessarily related to AI, or I mean, lots of factors about the current state of animation that is not only AI. AI is one part of it.
I see.
I think with the AI part, I mean, putting aside the ethical debate that's going on about it, which I agree with the theft aspect of it. I think that's I think that just scraping everything and reusing it and allowing people to regurgitate and copy, literally using artist name to make versions of their work is pretty horrible. Mm-hmm. But the fact that an artist or anyone can put a prompt in and get some sort of visual representation almost immediately is pretty amazing. For artists, I think a lot of them are struggling with, having their craft and their passion basically reduced to a text prompt. Right. Some people are embracing it and using it and finding ways to work within it. Some people are completely rejecting it. I'm happy that it will take away a lot of the sort of meaningless work or the. I mean, as I used to work in kitchens, I had to chop parsley by hand, which was the worst job. I hated it.
Right.
It's just tedious and it just takes a long time to get done right. So there's a lot of the chopping parsley that can go away, which I think is great. There's a lot of busy work in animation that can go away, which I think is fantastic. But I don't really know where it's going to go. Right now, the AI, as far as I can see, is making feature quality memes for the internet. That's what I think its current purpose is, its limit is.
Right.
So anyone can make a really high quality looking meme. And is that good? Is it bad? I think the new penny shine will wear off at some point and people will just be like, it's all a bit samey.
Right.
Recreating hyper realistic images and videos, I think is absolutely horrible. It's degrading trust in the internet.
That is true.
Across the board. Like I watch Facebook or YouTube and anything that's political or scientific or whatever, I simply don't trust it anymore.
I don't blame you.
I've lost all trust because I don't know what's real and what's not and what's people messing around and what's people pushing a different agenda. It's really hard to tell, which I think is quite sad. The replacing it or it becoming a kind of tool to make quick content, it's going to happen. It already is. I have some partners. We're making a feature film that's kind of based around Thailand, and a full animated feature film.
Wow.
And we have a partner right now that's using AI to do this, and they're using it's not a commercial AI. It's like a custom industry AI that's it's not built on scraped material.
I see.
It's that you use your own materials to build the intelligence. So we're hoping a trailer is going to be coming out in a couple of months, and I'd be happy to share that. So there are positive things about it. Sorry, I'm veering off in all directions here.
It's only fair because I'm sure the industry is veering off in different directions.
One thing that really I think is going to become a problem with the speed of which AI is creating is that, okay, anyone can do it. That means there's going to be a lot of mediocre stuff that people are just going to cast away. Or it'll go away. It's popular now because it's new, but it'll go away.
Right.
The people who really truly are artists will make something interesting out of it. Studios in the future will start embracing it. What my feeling is there's going to be too much content and not enough eyeballs to watch it all.
Right.
So it's great that you can make content faster and quicker, more of it, and better quality. But who's going to watch it? Who has time to watch all this content?
True.
So I think there's going to be an impasse at some point where there's just going to be too much stuff and people are going to not be interested. It's already happening. If you look at Spotify, music apps, Apple Music, in the past when a new record was released, it was a big deal. There was a big promotion. Everyone was hyped about it. Now records come out all the time, every day.
You're right.
And it's like, it's too much. I think people can't keep up and it's lost the magic. It's the same with Netflix. I canceled my Netflix subscription because when I open Netflix, I basically do this. Nope. And then I end up watching Breaking Bad for the 17th time. So I thought, well, it's just too much. It's overwhelming. And, with the short content being the standard way, TikTok, Reels, Shorts, Instagram, whatever Instagram things are called, it's too much. And people just, it's lost the magic, I think. And it will continue to lose that magic.
True.
Wow, sorry, so dark and negative.
It's true, right? I mean, it is arguably dark and negative, but it is the state of how content is consumed. And I see this in my world of just social media as well, where the lowering of the barrier to entry has allowed the creation of so much content and, to use your words, so much mediocre content that it is becoming tougher to stand out. Because there's only so many reels a person scrolling through TikTok can watch in a day.
Exactly.
But to kind of put a positive spin on it, and I'm stealing the thoughts of Dave McCoggan, who's a previous guest and a friend of the show, and he's been in advertising since before I was born, actually. So he has coined this term called original voice. So what it is that in this whole world where there's like creation of content is as easy as it has ever been, and it will only get easier, he feels that creative professionals such as yourself will still find a place, in the sense that they will be the ones who can create compelling stories that can stand out in that crowd. So I think that is one positive we can take from it, that there's just still that light at the end of the tunnel where there will be some creative people.
Absolutely, actually, and that's my positive angle on this too, is that, in the past, content was, mass exposure to your content was, it had to come through TV. Or it had to come, now, a few years ago, it had to come through streaming, which meant that there were gatekeepers of big studios who would invest millions into something that you would get exposure for. And I think this is the part of the entertainment industry that's collapsing, is the big studio, because people don't necessarily need them anymore. And I think that, apart from the deluge of content, you're absolutely right, or that person that you were speaking to is absolutely right. People like me, individuals who have ideas, can go and start their own entertainment business ecosystem. With merchandise, with content, with licensing. You don't need any help, really. I mean, of course you can get help. It helps. Help helps. But you can do it yourself. And I think what's good about it is that if you can build something yourself, if you can manage to find the seed money to start it and kick it off till you hit ad revenue, or find your own time and investment to kick it off till you hit ad revenue, then you own all the rights. It's yours. You're not sharing it with anyone. And if you become so popular that the Netflixes and the Disneys come to you, you're holding all the cards. The leverage is all on your side, with the ownership of the rights to exploit it and make money off it. So I do think that's the positive side of it, is that, the business is dying, but the old business is dying, and the new business is actually what we in our industry call UGC, the user-generated content. It comes from games, Roblox, Steam, YouTube. It's all user-generated content, and people actually like watching that stuff. They like seeing themselves. On the amateur on the other side of the screen, going, "That's me. I can relate to that. I could do that." It's kind of what punk rock was when punk rock music started, right? It was like, I don't care. It's just some guy picking up a guitar who doesn't really know how to play and bang out some, from his heart, or her. So it's kind of that. I've been delving deep into YouTube the last few months, and the quality that people are making is incredible these days.
That is true.
With the cameras and microphones, not so expensive, and software, you can make super high-end stuff by yourself at home. That's really compelling. High frame rate, 120 FPS, 60 FPS, and do it yourself, and it looks really great. It's So yes, that's positive. Absolutely. That's the positive side that I see as well too.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought it up, because that's a perfect segue into my next question, which is traditionally, at least the early part of your career was primarily animation as a service, if I may call it
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And now you've talked about the transition where smaller creators can create their own intellectual property and then in some way, shape or form monetize it. So do you see this as an evolving trend, and is there there's still a demand for animation as a service, and where do you see things on that spectrum of moving from animation purely as a service to individuals and small teams creating their own IPs and then building kind of their own brands, so to say?
Yeah. It's there's a transition going on right now, and I think we're in the middle, maybe coming out at the end of it. That relates back to exactly everything I was just saying moments ago. Is that animation as a service used to be, especially in Asia, you would get an order from a Western studio for a series, and they would hire a company. Or back when it was pandemic times, it was insanely busy. All the streamers were trying to up their content for their platforms, so the world scaled up to accommodate all this content.
Right.
And everyone produced all these series. But what happened was nobody was watching them at all. And so they turned off the tap because no one's watching series. And so the work went from producing this much in a year to producing literally that much in a year.
I see.
So after the world scaled up to accommodate all this and the tap got turned off, everyone was caught around the world with their pants around their ankles.
I see.
Basically going, I've got 200 people in an expensive building with a bunch of expensive equipment and there's no work.
Right.
And so you saw that all over the world, studios shutting down in Asia, India, Europe, Canada, America, just not enough work. And animation, VFX, I think all kinds of content. AI played a part into, or is playing a part into that as well too. Maybe AI is playing a part into is it going to ramp up again?
Right.
Well, if it does, it's going to be quite a lot less.
Right.
But because people like watching user-generated content, I have a 10-year-old, he doesn't watch animation.
Right.
He watches people playing Roblox.
Right.
And he's got his own YouTube channel where he plays Roblox.
Nice.
So animation as a service has really dwindled. And really the only stuff that seems to be available for little studios like us these days is digital content.
Right.
Whether those be kind of HR marketing clips using animation, or people making little mini series or whatever. That seems to be where the work is.
Right.
So it's smaller teams, as you say, smaller budgets. It's quicker. AI is intruding quite heavily on this stuff as well too, because people who want to do small, short, fast digital content, that's where AI excels.
Right.
Not making series, things like that. So it's an awkward phase right now where the work has dwindled, or the traditional work has dwindled.
Right.
The new work is less and different and smaller and faster and cheaper.
Right.
And also being taken over by new technology. Where was I going with this?
Just to maybe bring it back to the other end of the spectrum, which is like creating your own IP. And may I use this excuse to bring up Teewa and the gang? So what led you to that direction, and what the vision is with that?
Well, it was exactly what I was just spoken that led us to that direction. Was like, if this is where it's at, let's do it. Let's get in on it ourselves. And so we pitched Teewa originally as a TV series, like a high-end 2D animation series.
I'm sorry I'm interrupting, but for the benefit of our audience, can you, because we talked about Teewa off camera, but can you, so if you could just
sure.
Tell them.
Teewa is our own animated web series. It's about a kid. It's set in a fantasy version of Thailand, where she is this this girl, she's 9 years old, but her age doesn't really matter. She's a young kid who's like the fruit doctor of her village, which is kind of like the medicine woman who fixes things. But she lives beside this magic forest full of these crazy wild magic fruits. And she uses these fruits in combination to kind of fix weird problems that the villagers have or to protect her jungle. It's got an environmental sort of theme to it as well, too. But it's really about having crazy, wacky cartoon fun, which has been kind of gone for a long time. Everything got a little bit too preachy and careful and well, what's our message, or we have to be really clear on the message. It's taken away from the entertainment. So we've tried to put the entertainment back into animation by making it sort of wild and crazy and pushing the boundaries a little bit. And so, originally we wanted to do this as a traditional 2D animation series, 52 episodes, 11 minutes, $10, $11 million to produce this. But as we went shopping it, all we heard was, no one's interested in this. No one's interested to fund this because no one's watching it, because kids aren't watching. They're not consuming content like this anymore.
Right.
They're watching shorts.
Right.
User-generated content. And so that's when we decided to pivot and just go, do you know what? Let's simplify the design. We'll make it fast, so it's just two people that can do it. We'll make it non-dialogue, so we don't need actors. We can just find some stock music and sound effects, and we'll just produce it ourselves and open our own channel. So that's what we did.
Nice.
So Teewa the Fruit Doctor is on YouTube. You can find it, and we can share links, and
100%.
People can go and subscribe and watch all the videos. And we are looking for funding for this. We're looking for some money that will allow us to focus for a couple of years to just sit and put our heads down and bang out content to build up an audience and get those subscribers and watch hours so that we can actually start to generate our own money.
Understood.
That was our choice, is that rather than sit around and wait for work that probably isn't going to come, let's just make our own work. So
that sounds great, and I'm a subscriber now. I've seen a few episodes now, so
thank you.
So I see what you mean about just having fun with animation, because obviously I've, like all other kids my age, I grew up watching the cartoons in my time versus what my daughter has started seeing now. I see that it's just the type of content has changed in some ways for the better, but also in some ways it's not as much fun anymore. It's just not Tom and Jerry whacking each other through the entire episode.
Anymore. Looney Tunes, dropping anvils on your head.
Exactly. The Wile E. Coyotes are no longer available. So I see what you mean about just maybe breaking that mold a little bit and experimenting and going beyond. And I'm wishing you all the success in that. And
Thank you.
I'll be watching closely and seeing how Teewa and the gang grow. So cool. I'm glad you started this, and I'm curious to see how this evolves.
Yeah, I think this is the way. We can't just sit around and wait for people to come to us. We have to just do it ourselves, and it's fun. Actually, when it comes through, it's rewarding.
I'm sure.
It's rewarding when you put yourself into it. It's like owning your own business.
True.
It's hard, it's painful, but it's rewarding in ways that you can't get being an employee.
Yeah, 100%. And the thing you talked about just in terms of finding funding. So even in the startup world that I spend a lot of time in, funding is hard to come by, especially in this part of the world, especially this time of the cycle.
Sure.
A lot of the investors that I meet, a lot of the people who know what they're talking about, the whole thing is that you try to show some proof of concept that your idea or your concept or your business model works.
Yeah.
And that makes it slightly easier to raise funds. So I think the same applies in your case as well. If you can show that initial traction, that
there's an audience, if there's people want to watch and buy. Yeah.
Absolutely. So I'm eager to see how that pans out. Now, you touched upon something that is very interesting, is not just how technology has evolved in terms of producing animation, but how the consumption of animation itself has evolved, both for enterprise customers who needed animation for ads and content of that nature, and also the kids and even adults consuming animated content for the sake of entertainment. So can you tell me a bit more about your observations on how that has changed and how that will continue to change
Yeah, I have a theory that I just was thinking about the other day that, and again, I'd mentioned that my son, 10 years old, he doesn't watch animation.
Right.
It's not like he doesn't like it.
Right.
When it's on, if he encounters it, he'll be like, oh, this is cool. But it's just not his thing.
Right.
He wants to watch other humans
Right.
do stuff. But animation, strangely, despite the industry crumbling, the business part, the old ways crumbling, animation has never been more popular. The last couple of years, there have been 5 animated films that have broken $1 billion at the box office. The biggest one was a Chinese feature
did not
film.
know that.
Yeah, it broke $2 billion just earlier this year.
Wow.
If you go onto Instagram and or YouTube and you start getting animation into your algorithm, into your feed, it's crazy. There's like millions of followers for animation. People love it. But I don't think it's kids. I think the idea of animation it's a nostalgia to a degree. So people like me, people like you, who when you were kids loved animation, as you get older, you're still loving animation.
Right.
So the animation that's most popular on the socials is geared to younger adults
I see.
or to adults.
Interesting.
And not necessarily the really shocking, edgy,
Right.
vulgar, because there is a place for that as well too, but the more like playing on more adult emotions,
Right.
or playing more on adult situations. That's what's popular. So I think as people grow older, the animation is growing to match it.
I see.
So maybe, I don't know, maybe in 20 years, it'll be, a bunch of gray-haired people watching animation. And
Hey, I'm not mad at that future.
and well, maybe it'll come back up again. You can't predict cycles and how entertainment happens, right?
Absolutely.
You can't predict, it's impossible to predict what people will like 10 years from now. Animation doesn't go away. It doesn't get unpopular.
Right.
In fact, it's more popular than it ever was. It's just the age has shifted to who's watching it. Yeah. So I guess that's, one thing I've been thinking is our Teewa project, we were targeting it at kids, but I don't think that's right. I have to question that. I think it needs to be targeted a little more to like 18, 19, 20-year-olds or 22-year-olds, something like that, I think is who our audience is.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, it's like you said, just trends keep coming and going, but just, people were in their 30s, 40s, they grew up watching animation, and it's just their tastes have evolved, but their interest in animation remains. So maybe and there's a giant population of that consumer as well, and they too are consuming a lot of content.
Yeah.
So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so there's
well, even especially in Asia, the kind of cute animation character thing is crazy popular, especially in Taiwan, Japan. It's really hugely popular,
and it's growing here as well. At least in terms of how brands are utilizing them.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
It's the butter bears of the world.
Or Labubu. I mean, it's not animated, but it's a little toy.
Yeah, it's just
it's a doll.
Yeah, so
the adult
fascination for characters and stuff like that. So it's a cultural thing, and I'm sure it'll just come full circle in some way, shape, or form.
And and Asia tends to really influence the West these days. I mean, anime is insanely popular, but anime is for adults, right? Anime is not for kids; it's for adults.
True.
And everything in the U.S. right now, if there's a new show coming out, they want it to be anime,
right?
Because that's what they're chasing the trend, right?
Right. Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see how the industry evolves from a demand side as well, as obviously it continues to evolve from a technology standpoint.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, if I may maybe take a tangent and talk about the country you and I call home, Thailand. So you mentioned that you've had the privilege of working in a lot of different countries, exploring work opportunities in different places. So what led you to choosing Thailand, and how has your experience been, especially recently? Because a lot of our audience is comprised of people who have just started their businesses or are planning to start their businesses. So how do you find Thailand for that specific purpose, the pros and cons and the things in between?
I had been to Thailand on vacation because I'd worked in Malaysia before many years ago. And I mean, anyone who comes here knows it's an amazing place. It's super welcoming.
Right.
It's super easy to get around and do things. The people are pretty relaxed. They're very friendly. The food is delicious. The weather's great. The price is right. There's everything going for it.
True.
You know, the infrastructure or the way the government infrastructure, I mean the societal infrastructure could use a bit of help. but what country doesn't? But I never heard of Thailand be a destination for animation. And I came here because there was a job here by this Danish company, and I'd been here on vacation, and I thought, well, that's really interesting. I could see myself living in Thailand and working, but I didn't know anything about the animation industry here. It's been around for a really long time, but in the early days, it was really only for its own market or its neighbor's market. It wasn't so much for an international market. But when I got here, and to this day, 13 years later, I'm still always amazed by the artistic quality that people bring here. It's incredible. I mean, if you come here to visit and you look at the temples, the culture, the design, it's beautiful. There's an artistic there's an artistic root deep inside the culture, and that comes out with art. And there's an amazing humor within Thai culture as well too. And so that all comes out, and it comes out very very sincerely.
Right.
And so I love working with Thai artists. It's incredible quality. It's a really lovely experience. I can rely and trust on people here very well. And I'm really happy about here. I think it's for a place to come for price and quality. It's incredible value. It's incredible value that you get by working here in Thailand. Sorry, a little shameless self-promotion there.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But having a business here, I think the biggest challenge of starting a business here as a foreigner is they don't make it easy. No. It's not easy at all. There's a lot of restrictions. If you don't have the Board of Investment support, to get the Board of Investment support, actually, it's not that difficult. And I think they support in that way, but you have to get it, and then you have to spend, which is 2 million or 1 million baht over 3 years, which is not really that much. But it's not easy.
Right.
It's not easy getting started here. And then you have to have three shareholders. Or three,
that's
in your business. And anyway, but I like having a business here. I love living here. Sorry, where am I going with this? It's great. The people are great. The quality is great.
Right.
I think there's a lot of stereotypes that people have about working with Asians. I mean, Eastern versus Western ways of doing things. The saving face, or they're not going to be honest because they don't want to say no.
Right.
I don't really find that here in Thailand. I find people to be quite honest, and if they don't like something, you can easily get it out of them.
True.
Sorry, I'm losing track here.
No, I mean, I echo all the sentiments. So you mentioned just Thailand being a great place to live.
Yeah.
No-brainer there.
Yeah.
You mentioned just the availability of creative talent and the innate cultural creativity that is present in Thailand, and I definitely see that in my world of social media and advertising and things like that as well, where just the kind of ads that Thai people come up with. It is
They're famous. They're world famous. They're hilarious. They're they're clever. Yeah.
And then obviously the regulatory stuff definitely needs work. No, there's no beating around the bush on that. And as far as the work culture, and especially the difference between the Western and Eastern management styles, I feel that it is becoming more global now, especially in Bangkok, which is a very, very cosmopolitan city for those who haven't been here. There's so many cultures intermingling. So the younger generation, I feel, is adapting to a more global working style.
Fully agree,
But in a previous life, I've had the opportunity of working with more traditional Thai businesses. So those, I think, still reflect a lot of the Thai values that you talked about. So, but in the modern tech-focused world, I think the younger workforce is adapting to that.
I think same with animation too. It's a bit of an odd industry because it's artistically driven, and it's quite modern. I find the humor and the approach and the understanding of the acting and the art and the jokes is quite global.
I couldn't agree more. Now, this brings us to the final question of the day, which is what's next? What's next for Marty? What's next for Chardo? What's next for Teewa and the gang? What are the milestones?
We're just going to keep pushing Teewa to get subscribers. And the goal is that it becomes a self-funding machine, at least that it can fund its own content, that it grows, and we build it into games. We build it into merchandise, licensing. I think the games thing is a big angle as well too. Like the creator and my partner in Teewa, who's a Thai guy, he's actually a computer science graduate. So, so he makes games. So when he designed Teewa, he already had an idea of how it would be good in games. So that's what will go for Teewa, and then it'll just be the race for me to get clients to keep this alive, to keep us able to keep the lights on, so we can keep working on our own content and eventually, make our own dreams come true. As I like to say, people hire me to make their dreams come true, so I can use that money to make my own dreams come true.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Yeah, so that's the idea. As I said in the beginning, we've got a feature film that we're working on as well too. So hopefully these things come out and this gives us some kind of name. We become somebodies. We go from nobodies to somebodies, and that helps us get more content out there. And I'd love to meet more Thai creators with ideas and build a little ecosystem of creators and start making cool stuff that people like to watch.
Awesome. And for what it's worth, I'm rooting for you, and
Awesome.
I appreciate you taking the time, sharing your journey with me today, because this is the reason why I do what I do with the Exponential show, is meeting people who are experts in their field, who are passionate about what they're doing, and learning about their personal backgrounds, their industries, and it's a great learning opportunity for me as well. So I really appreciate you taking the time.
I'm really glad you asked me. I love doing this. I love talking about animation.
I'm sure we'll do it again sometime, both on and off camera.
Yeah, cool.
Perfect. Thank you, Marty.
Thank you.
Thank you to everybody who tuned in. If you liked the episode, make sure to subscribe both to the Exponential show and to Teewa. We'll leave the links down below. You guys, I'll see you in the next episode. Until then, have a good one.
Bye.